So I'm going to click on plus and choose from here the word content area. Content area, I click on the word. So I ask you, what do you want to name it? Some people call it content, right? Content. Some people will call it lesson modules. Some people will call it course units. And right now I'm going to name it course units. Course units, oh, okay. Here, of course, if you click send without checking the box, then the button you created won't be visible to the students in the course. So why is he giving you this option? He's giving you this option because during the development phase, you don't want the students to see what you're doing. But if you're done, the students should see it. And of course, we want the students to see it. So I'm going to check this box so they can see my button and access my content. I check the box and click send. So he tells you it's already written and available. So I'm going to put, for example, my name again, and I say send, that's it. Or we did it as course units. I'm going to move it all the way up. I'm raising it up. I'm placing the button up there so that the first thing the student, what is it? See the word course units. Move it up a bit more. He placed it under what? Above that. Here it is, course units. So the student studying the subject of computer principles and information technology wants to know the course units. They click on course units like this, and they will find their study material right here. The study material explanation and the principles of computing and information technology will come to him right here.
Okay.
After I created this button, which is the content button, now let's focus together and start working on how to upload or the methods of content distribution. So you're saying methods, meaning you have several methods? Yes, of course. The content, guys. What is electronic content? Electronic content can be text, audio, images, videos, links, scores, and a lot more. It could be a QR code. It could be many things. I mean, there are a lot of sources. Okay, there's a question, and it can contain several of these things together. It can include audio, images, text, and video all together. All of that is something called a score or something called a package. We'll look at all of this together and see how it's done. Okay?
Okay.
For those who just joined, no problem at all. The lecture is recorded, and you can go back to the previous part. We're still at the beginning. It's all pretty simple. All right, let's get started with God's blessing. I've clicked on the course units, and the student should do the same. Here comes your educational material or the topics you're explaining. Now focus on this button for creating content. It's crucial to understand this, as today's course revolves around it. I'm creating content in various ways: elements, files, audio, images, videos, web links, modular units, lesson outlines, curricula, repeated links, score rubrics, folders, Flickr images, SlideShare, YouTube. Dr. Sami, you're uploading content using these methods, and we'll explore other ways to develop content. Modular learning unit, lesson outline, curriculum, repeated link, score rubric, folder, modular unit page, Flickr image, SlideShare, YouTube. What was it, Dr. Sami? You're uploading your content using all these methods. And we'll also explore other ways to develop the content. Other ways to develop the content. To develop the content, other ways to develop the content, if I open the course, I don't need 6 hours. If I'm going to open this course, I need 6 hours. So I'm going to try to solidify the information and summarize the topic in a way that suits the course, God willing. First thing, when I'm creating content, I have two options in front of me. Either I divide the content into a set of folders, or I divide the content into a set of modular units. Again, guys, let's emphasize this because it's really, really, really important. I mean, if I'm going to work and create content, I should organize the content for the student. It's not reasonable for me to teach, for example, 10 units and put all 10 units on one page. No, I'm organizing the first unit separately, the second unit with its information separately, and the third unit with its information separately in this practical and organized way. The student remains aware that he has a group of units. He enters each unit and enters that unit to learn and understand or read the scientific material and take tests on it and see the activities on it, everything remains in one place or one part. Say again, I have a way of working, and this choice is up to each teaching member. Some people like to work with the content folder, and some people say, no, I like modular learning units. Whatever method you like, whether this method or that method, use it. We'll explain each part. Start with the content folder, organizing curriculum content. Then modular learning unit, another method. Show the content folder for visualization. Open another course to show content organization. This folder or curriculum is produced by the e-learning deanship with the academic department in the applied college. And after I finish that, I'll also explain the modular learning unit, which is another way to organize the content within the curriculum. All right? I'll start with the content or the content folder so you can visualize it. I'm going to open another course that the university has set up so you can see how these people are working. And how did they organize their content? I mean, this is a folder, or what I call a curriculum, produced by the e-learning deanship in collaboration with the academic department in the applied college. They created something called content, and they organized the educational material like this, organizing the educational material into folders, a holder of folders. The first unit is in a folder. Second unit is in a folder. The third unit is in a folder. First, so the student sees educational material presented like this. The content of the educational material appears like this. So when the student accesses the content or the course units or lessons, how are they divided? The first unit is in a folder. The second unit is in a folder like this. All right, Dr. Sammy, are you going to explain to us how this method works? I will explain to you how this method works. And after I finish this method, I'll also teach you the second method, which is how the modular units work. All right, let's start with God's blessing to see how the folders work. Before I get into the folders, they created something called instructions. Instructions specific to these units. The instructions will have a symbol that differs a bit from the folders. This is a folder. This is a picture of a folder. No, this is not a folder. This is something called an element, and we'll see it together in a bit. All right, let's start with God's blessing and see what we've begun. I'm going to click on the word create folder, and I choose the content folder, and I start by saying the first unit. I name it first unit. Here it is. The unit is just as it is. The first unit, as a folder for the first unit, it would be better if you know the title of the unit for the first unit. Instead of just saying the first unit and stopping, for example, you might say an introduction to computers. You want to give the first unit, which is an introduction to computers, a specific color. You can change its color so that each unit has a different color. For example, this unit can be colored blue, or you can choose any color you like. Okay. So regarding the topic, it has turned to blue. All right, what do you want to put here? Just a second. If you noticed here, I put the title of the unit here, and I put a name for the unit here. All right, before the student enters the unit, did you notice something here? Here, there is actually a title for the unit, and put a name for the unit, but before the student enters the unit, they look at the objectives, unit objectives, unit, God willing, next week. We're going to start announcing the professional certifications, and among those certifications, there's one called the Quality Control Certificate. Its duration is 35 hours, and it teaches you that I gave 3 hours. That was summarized last week, which gives you 35 hours on how to become a professional and create a complete quality controlled course.